How y'all doing today? Me How y'all doing today? My name is Malachi Bowen. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm an author. I wrote this book right here called "You Are the Blueprint: Knowing Yourself So You Can Know Your Path." And I also got a clothing brand called Original Gods right here. And on the back it say we create our own reality. And so what I'm all about is like self-awareness, self-reflection and things of that nature, because I feel like the reason these children suffer in these schools, in this society and things of that nature is because they don't know who they are. So my expertise and specialty is about instilling self-awareness into the youth and also instilling self-awareness into everyone in the community so we can realize the change we seek is already within us. A lot of times due to the external influences that we around, whether it be social media, the dominant media and things of that nature, it's like we tend to forget the power that's within us. You know, we tend to neglect the divine guidance that comes from within us, within the higher calling of our consciousness, and also the divine guidance of our soul and the nudges of our soul. So my whole expertise and goals and things of that nature with this book and just everything I stand upon is to get the youth and people in the community to be more cemented in themselves. You see what I'm saying? Because these external influences, they ain't gonna give us the right guidance. They're not gonna give us the answers. They're not gonna give us the change we seek in our life. We gotta submit to the calling of our higher consciousness. And also learn more about our ancestors, where we come from, and things of that nature, so we can be the change we seek in our life. It's hard for us to be the change we seek in our life if we ain't cemented in our culture. If we not cemented about learning about the ancestors. If we not cemented about learning about where we come from and who we are. You know, we got people like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Huey P. Newton. Our ancestors built the pyramids in Egypt. They even got pyramids in America. You see what I'm saying? So my whole goal and path in life is to awaken that power that's within us that's been lying dormant, so we can submit to the divine guidance that's within us. And I'm gonna just tell y'all about my journey as well. So I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, of course. I lived in Avondale from when I was born to when I was like 7. And both of my parents was on drugs and things of that nature. So when I was 7, they couldn't take care of me, my brothers and sisters. So I ended up going into the foster care system. So then when I turned 10, my mother, she took me in. Her name was Falana Whitehead. She took me in and then adopted me when I was 12. You know, up until I was born, till I moved out of my mama's house, I'm gonna say. Not necessarily, but from what I just grew up around like a lot of violence, a lot of drugs, used to get into a lot of fights in school. You know, just the average young black boy experience. And so for me, it was like once I turned 19, and I was a senior year of high school, that's when things started to click. I had an African American history teacher who started teaching about our history, about Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, the different ancestors, things of that nature we come from. So it was like that was a turning point, but it wasn't the whole turning point. I also had a teacher by the name of Miss Perkins. She had a program called JCG, Job for Cincinnati Graduates, and she was telling me like, I think it would be good for you to be into get into public speaking. So I was like, oh no, like when it's something new to you, you be like, I don't know about all that, you know what I'm saying? So we worked on a speech and things of that nature. I wrote it, and then a week later go past, and I was like, and I started giving up on the public speaking. I started giving up on it, and she was like, I really think you should do this because you really got a powerful voice. So I'm saying, and that's what it takes. Also, it also takes people like us, the elders, the older people in the community, to see the gifts within our youth and talk to them, speak life into them, instill a different program in them. So when we instill that different program in them, they'll be cemented in that confidence. They'll be cemented in that powerful self-esteem. They'll be cemented in the power that's within themselves. You see what I'm saying? So once I had a teacher that believed in me, that's when I started to realize like I really got a power within me that I didn't know. Growing up in our communities, we aren't taught about who we are. Nobody don't teach us about where we come from. And that's the most important thing we can teach our youth. Because if they don't know who they are and where they come from, no matter how much No matter how much we get them in these programs or do these different things, which is important, it's necessary. But if we aren't infusing these programs with knowledge itself, it won't be cemented in them. You see what I'm saying? Be cemented in their decision making. You see what I'm saying? Keep the ancestors on their mind, because when you think about all these other people, other cultures, they keep their ancestors on their mind. They guided by their ancestors, things of that nature. So it's about us instilling that into our youth, so they can be the change they seek in their life. And also, so once I graduated from high school, I met this brother by the name of Dewan. He taught me about the Moors, how the Moors civilized the Europeans, and if it wasn't for the Moors, the Europeans wouldn't know how to bathe, they wouldn't know how to wash, they wouldn't, you know what I mean? So they wouldn't know about development and things of that nature. So once I started learning about that as well, it ignited a certain power in me and passion in me to take a path of self-development. And then, like, I want to say, once I turned 22, I went to I did auto body collision repair. I did that for 3 years. And then once I got out of auto body collision repair, I ended up moving to Houston, Texas for 2.5 years. I started a logistics company out there. I did a moving company, TV mount, things of that nature. But then after I left Houston, I ended up going to Africa for 9 months. I was teaching in the schools in Africa. I also got my books in the school, and also got my brand out there as well in Nairobi, Kenya. But I don't really want to be long-winded. I know it's probably long-winded. I know everybody else got to speak, but I just wanted to give a context of my background in which I come from, because we have to know who we talking to on these panels. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to take up time, but I also, we also have to introduce ourselves and let each other know who we are, so we can tap into the different aspects and resources of each other. And I want to say thank y'all for giving me the chance to speak. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
I'm going to say this serious.